Hello and what is up, YouTube? My name is G3Iron, and today I'm just going to give you some initial thoughts on Heist as well as a quick breakdown on my League starter here. We are currently level 2 at the start of our third play session here. Played for a little bit during the opening day and had a simply great time playing Heist. My initial thoughts on Heist are simply this. Be careful if you really want to rush to maps and push maps over the opening weekend and generate currency by playing on the Atlas, because if you start playing Heist, you might not stop playing Heist. Like, it's that much fun. If you enjoy playing a mapping style of gameplay in an approach to Path of Exile that allows you to essentially choose, essentially randomized encounters that are like maps, that's basically what contracts are. They are like maps with very specific master's mission sort of oriented goals for you to push through, then you're going to really have a blast playing contracts, and you might forget that there's a whole bunch of passive skill books that are available to you if you actually level up and progress through the storyline. So far, I gotta say, there's been, of course, some hiccups, as there always are for any game on its opening launch weekend for any expansion or any new release. So of course, hiccups aside, I think the gameplay of Heist has been absolutely outstanding. As one person in our Twitch chat said on the opening weekend, wow, that initial Heist went from 0 to delirium real quick in terms of the denseness of the mobs that we were facing, as well as just in terms of like the panic-stricken moments of, oh my goodness, am I going to die? Am I actually going to make it out of here? Now granted, those are the first couple of times that you play it. Once you get used to it, you will certainly get more into a mapping rhythm and a mapping style approach. So that's my initial impression of Heist. It's excellent. It's got delirium-like potential in terms of its replayability, in terms of its drops, and in terms of its loot. We've already had at least one patch that has gone in and fixed the way how some of the loot has been generated, because it was just pumping out way too much loot. My very first Heist dropped 2 Bramblejacks. I don't think that's the reason why GGG had to go in and nerf the drops. I'm sure it was for another reason. But anyway, all that aside, Heist has been great. Okay, so let's transition from Heist into talking about my League starter. I was debating and flipping a coin pretty much the entire night leading up until Path of Exile 3.12's launch, and I couldn't decide between going with an Old Faithful build. Really, I had 3 options that I had narrowed it down to. 3 out of the 4 options that I had recommended to you all as League starters. And it was between Darkzell's ED Contagion Trickster, Shack Central's Vortex Occultist, or Hasunik's Toxic Rain Trickster. And ultimately, I decided to go with one of the shadows, so that way I could have options. I messed around with Essence Drain Contagion a little bit. I didn't mess around with Spellslinger yet. I just wanted to hand cast it, see what it felt like. And I'd never done a Toxic Rain build before, so I thought, okay, let's roll with this Toxic Rain. So we're running with Hasunik's build. The link is down below in the video description if you'd like to follow that particular build. This is going incredibly smoothly for an old, balding, geriatric man that is as terrible at gaming as I am. This has been one of the, if not the smoothest leveling experiences that I have ever had. Prior to this, I would say my smoothest leveling experience was during Harvest, which was following Shack Central's Cold Dot Vortex guide for dummies, which was simply amazing. It coupled a fantastic build also basically with the improvements to leveling and the solo self-found aspects of Harvest crafting that made leveling a joy and a breeze, simply put, during the 3.11 cycle. But coming into the 3.12 cycle, I have been pleasantly surprised. So prior to finding this bow, we found this bow in a Heist. I was going absolutely bonkers when we found it. Our entire Twitch chat was going bonkers. This was a 5-link perfect socket combination in terms of colors for us. We really don't care about any of the stats on this thing. Like, I could just chaos spam this, or even potentially scour it and then transmute and alteration to actually get some stats that might actually apply to me. So what we've got here is we've got Toxic Rain supported by Vicious Projectiles, Mirage Archer, Void Manipulation, and then fifth support is Swift Affliction. Eventually we're going to put an Empower in here. That's what Hasunik recommends, and so eventually we'll get an Empower and we'll level this up. But this was great. I found this, and I think it was like a level 42 or 43, maybe it was 45 level zone for the heist that we were doing. It was a quest heist that we were following along, and we found this 5 link. So again, the stats on this are irrelevant, and I think that's part of the strength of this particular build guide. Is pretty much all of my stats right now are just atrocious. Here's my defenses. We're at 63, 75, 42. I've got several deaths on this character. Most of them actually were to Merveil. We're already pushing in towards Act 8. We're going to make our way towards Act 8 when we go live today. But this has been an absolutely blast of a build to play, even with just atrocious defenses, SSF stuff, and guild found stuff as well. 25 max life on my helmet. I mean, that's garbage. +1 to socket and minion gems. I guess if I could put my stone golem in there, that might actually be relevant. We bought this quiver for 1 chaos off of the market. 88 maximum life, 32 lightning resistance. That's where most of my lightning resistance is actually coming from right now. I've yet to craft on anything. We've got this wonderful ring that we had found, 68 life. This other ring that's, again, atrocious, 12 life, and then fizz damage. It's got cold resistance on it, which is somewhat nice. But pretty much everything has been garbage. I'm using a brisk wrap. I'm level 52. And I'm using a brisk wrap. This belt, where is this belt from? It's actually, I think, from level 2. Like, I pretty much found that belt. That might be my first or second belt that we found as we were pursuing through Act 1. Our gloves are pretty good, 74 life on our gloves. And then we did find a Karui ward as we were going through Heist. In terms of our flasks, we've got 2 life flasks going on here. I still don't have bleed removal on anything, so I'm going to have to get that at some point. We got a Stibnite flask of steadiness, and then we got 2 quicksilvers. Eventually, I'm going to have to upgrade these and spend some currency on those. But for right now, this has been really, really smooth. The passive tree looks like this. We started out coming through the shadow early on through coordination and coming up grabbing blood siphon. Then we made our way up in order to grab damage through entropy, through Fangs of the Viper, all the way up to growth and decay, and then through written in blood to atrophy. And then after we grabbed atrophy, we came down and grabbed no witnesses to grab elusive chance on kill, which has been fantastic. That has been a noticeable speed boost for my character. Then we worked our way back down over here to grab blood drinker, and then eventually to grab Hunter's Gambit, which is a fantastic node for boosting DPS, on our way down to, of course, the hallmark of defenses for this build, which is acrobatics and phase acrobatics, along with method to madness. And that's where we're at so far. Level 52, we've got an opportunity here to ascend. Again, we're going to do that live here today when the stream goes live. But that's the quick initial first impression updates on Heist League. Those are my initial thoughts of less than 24 hours of the league being live. Anyway, I'd love to hear down below what your thoughts are on your league starter so far. If you've got any notes and have been able to league start so far, what your initial impressions of Heists are. But this is my day 1 official diary post, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, for day 1 Heist. So far, having fun, enjoying it. Hopefully you guys are as well, and hopefully you're avoiding all of the crashes and all the potential awkwardness that can come with the league launch. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Look forward to checking in on all of your comments down below and hearing how your league launch is going. And as always, I hope today is the day a Mirror of Calandra drops for you in Heist League. Thanks for watching that video. If you'd like more information on any of our discussion points today, you can see them down below in the video description. If you'd also like to join our Discord or support our Patreon, you can do so with the links down below. Thanks again, and big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters.